We're going to take a deep dive into the Cubs organization as I bring in Nick from Windy City Hockey to join us here in just a second. What's up, YouTube? It's T Money. Welcome to the first episode of the Cubs organization rundown. We're gonna probably do this month by month if we're able to. We're gonna talk about the big Cubs, the I Cubs, and then we're gonna talk about one prospect that we're all eyeballing. That's a little bit farther down. We're gonna constantly have Nick on because he's the other Cubs fan that I know of. Nick, welcome.
Thanks for having me on. This is a little bit different for me covering the Cubs, not just the Hawks.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we're both Cub fans, so I mean, why not? Why not give them a little bit of give a little bit of spotlight? So, we're gonna take a look at the big Cubs first. They're coming off a 5-2 win. Nick, you were able to watch that game. Go ahead and give me a little bit of a breakdown of what you saw today.
Uh, Wisniewski had himself a good bounce back game. Last game he pitched wasn't the greatest for himself, but today he pitched well. And the Cubs offense went off a little bit after a little bit of a lackluster game yesterday against the Padres, but today they played a strong pitching game and offensive game where Cubs came out with if I remember correctly, if let me pull up that number, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
It
Take your
just got
time.
off my phone.
I will throw out one player for you while you pull that up. Dansby Swanson had himself a day as well. He's been doing that constantly.
Yeah, Dansby had his first Cub home run in this game as well, where is a good one to mark because he's had a little bit of a slow start, but that's normal for Dansby. He always has had. Last year at the beginning of the season, he had 2 home runs in the month of April, and the year before, he only had 1 home run at the start of the season. So Dansby's always been a slow starter, and it seems like he's now at the point where he's going to end up getting a good run with his first home run as a Chicago Cub. Then Nico Horner continued his 22 game on base streak today with a nice single up the middle. It leads to the Cubs playing some good offense, and the pitching has been strong for them this year as well, it feels like.
Yeah. I also want to throw out there was another Cub that homered today in the form of Nelson Velasquez. He was part of a back-to-back earlier in the game. Actually, really fun fact: the time that happened, the I Cubs went back in
Oh,
homers.
wow.
So I'll get into that. Your player of the game from the Cubs for their 5-2 win.
Honestly, it's hard to pick one for the Cubs tonight just because it was pretty much work by committee, but kind of have to give it to Dansby for the fact he got his first Cub home run today.
There you go. All right, let's take a quick deep dive down into the I Cubs. I was actually job shadowing Alex Cohen, the voice of the I Cubs. That was a very fun experience. I was able to get on for the top half of the sixth, and that was when Encarnacion Strand actually hit one of, if I can remember, if I can count, 9 home runs in that game. That ball just would not stay on the ground. Both teams totaling 42 hits. I-Cubs coming away with an 18-16 win over the Louisville Bats, the AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds. And I'm going to throw this out there. Cub fans, I would be scared of Dela Cruz, Encarnacion Strand, who else should I eyeball? And McLean. Those three all had very good games today. McLean went 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs. Dela Cruz 4 for 6 today, and one of them being one of the home runs. So Cub fans, we need to watch out for these players. I'm gonna jump over to the iCubs side here. Player of the game today by was told by Alex Cohen, Christopher Morel, who went 4 for 6. Uh, who had I think it was 2 home runs today. He was great today. Christopher Morel. I mean, he's MLB not he's MLB capable. Like he's capable of
He's
playing.
he's ready for the MLB. He proved it last year up in the Cubs. The thing is, there's not the roster spot for him right now, which sucks for Morel because I really am a fan of how he is as a player.
I will say, I know that Chicago Cub fans miss him, but let's just say you're missing a lot. But he's certainly still doing what he would do up in Chicago. I want to get to one key starter for the iCubs today, and that would be Kyle Hendricks. Now, this was his first appearance in Iowa since July 1st, 2014. So he gets called up July 6th, and then he went on and won the World Series in 16, doing Major League rehab for the iCubs. So how they're doing that is they're gonna do max 3 innings, and then they're gonna get him to a point where he's gonna get to his 5 inning max,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when they're gonna call him up. But today, I'm being optimistic when I say this because this is his first time he's played competitive baseball in over 9 months. He went 1 for 2 with 6 hits and 6 earned runs. Now, like I said, I'm being optimistic when I say that because it's your first time playing in over 9 months.
Yeah, I think Hendricks will find his game back. It's been since July since he's actually played a professional game, and since then, the Cubs really have been playing where they've been not missing him, but they would like to probably have him back in the lineup because think about it. He's the last remaining of
That
that
2016
roster.
World Series.
And it would be nice to see Hendricks find his game back, but it's going to probably be a couple weeks till we start seeing Hendricks climb to his normal self.
I will say, there was some, like I said, this is the reason why I said to be optimistic about this. He did kept his usual speed, about 89 miles an hour when it comes to his speed, which I'm pretty sure that was normal when he was in 2016, right?
Just about 87, 94 miles per hour was his max.
So yeah, he hovered around there, so that's still good, which means he's got his arm strength. And to close out the first and start the second, he had 3 consecutive strikeouts.
That's good to see.
So he's still got the strikeouts, and he's still got it in him. Like I said, I think it was just the absence from the game itself. That's what got to him. Winning pitcher for the day ended up going to, I'm going to butcher his name. I think it's Tyler Duffy. I think that's who it was. Let me make sure I get the correct name here. Yeah, Tyler Duffy had a very outstanding outing. Not all the iCubs pitchers didn't pitch more than 2 innings. So it's kind of hard to pick a specific one as to who actually performed the most, or the best, I should say. But the winning pitcher ended up going to Tyler Duffy with a 1 2/3 outing with 1 hit allowed, no runs, no hits. No, 1 hit allowed, sorry. No runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and a 4.35 ERA is what he ended with. The best pitching performance for the iCubs would be, let me get his name. I think it's Thompson. Just want to make sure I get his name right. Riley Thompson. 2 full innings pitched, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. So our pitching is our pitching is looking very good, and we're talking a team who has not scored below 7 runs a game in under 10, in 5 games. Like they've not like they're averaging 8.5 runs a game, or
Okay.
just under 8. So really good prospects that we're looking at down here in Iowa. The one prospect I do want to look at for the iCubs, or not the iCubs, for the entire Cubs organization, if it'll allow me to look for it, is P. Crow Armstrong. Now, I was looking for him a little bit ago because I was like, okay, I want to actually watch him, see how good he actually is. And unfortunately, the time I found him, he was actually dealing with a sickness. So that's where that's at. He started the other day, I heard, thanks to Alex. But I'm here. He's doing pretty good. I'm gonna try. Let me get his stats really quick. If my Surface allows me to do what I want it to do. Um, Crow. In the meantime, previewing we can go ahead and preview the next series for the Chicago Cubs. In the meantime, if you want to do that.
Sure. Well, the Cubs after today against the Padres in that series, that now moves on to the Cubs going on the road to head out to Miami. Luckily, the Cubs aren't going to have to face Miami's top pitcher in this series, as he already pitched this week, which is going to be a key for the Cubs because pitching in Miami actually has become pretty strong for their team in the recent years. Looks like Stroman to start tomorrow against the Marlins. It's still to be determined for the Friday for the Saturday game on the 29th, and it looks like Justin Steele will be on the bump for the 30th against the Marlins. And that game on the 30th is actually a 11 o'clock start a.m. in Miami, which would be a 12 o'clock time for local time in Miami, 11 o'clock Central Time.
About the time that the iCubs usually do their games.
Yeah, it's interesting to see a game that early on TV for any MLB game.
Yeah. So I was finally able to get up P. Crow Armstrong's stats. He's got 15 hits and 44 at bats, which makes him average 341. His on base percentage is 375, and his OPS is almost 1,000. So he's looking like the prospect that the Cubs are going to want to see here in the near future. Yeah, I can't wait. Me and Alex Cohen were both saying we hope to see him in Iowa relatively soon, if not start of next season. Because it would be nice to see that long diving outfield snag that he is very patented on. Then it's yeah. Any final thoughts on how we've been doing, on how the big Cubs have been doing?
Well, the Cubs, I feel like, to come out of the gate, they currently are sitting third place in the Central Division, but it's pretty even from where it stands because right now the Pirates have a 3-game lead on the Cubs. It's with an 18-8 record, which is shocking to see with Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh has not been known to be one of those type of teams out of the gate. Then Milwaukee with a record of 16-9. Okay, the Cubs are pretty close on it. It's 14-10 record for the Cubs, which there were a couple games against the Dodgers they probably would have liked to have back, but they've played well. But it's always good to see the Cardinals on the basement of the Central Division.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, that's the biggest surprise for me, especially for the Cubs organization. The Pirates leading our division, the Cardinals dang near the bottom. What are we? What year are we in? I've never heard of Pittsburgh and St. Louis baseball being reversed.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I don't think that's happened in a long time. And with the fact that the Cardinals sucking, it's nice to see because I feel like former Cub Wilson Contreras is getting a lot of karma for what all he's said about the organization this offseason when signing to the Cardinals. And now it feels like he's now on the basement dwellers of the St. Louis Cardinals because that team has zero pitching, and the Cubs, their pitching has been one of their strong suits, which honestly has been a surprising factor this year.
And then to close it out, I'm going to take a look at the standings for the AAA. For the AAA, because Iowa, well, at one point before they had a couple slip up games, were at the top of the entire league.
Okay.
So looking at the league standings, so the top three teams are Memphis, the affiliate for the Cardinals, 17-6. Norfolk, the affiliate of the Orioles, 16-6. They've got a game later today. Toledo, 15-7, a game and a half back of Memphis, and then your iCubs at 14-7, 2 games back of Memphis. I mean, it's only the first month of the year. We can't really go on these standings because they could be really different come July, but it's nice to see that the iCubs are actually winning games because there was a long stint where they were not winning anything. Like they'd get a win here and there, win a series maybe, but it's nice to see us actually winning games. Alrighty, that is going to do it for episode 1 of the Chicago Cubs organization deep dive. Nick, hopefully we can do this again literally in a month. Will probably be the 27th of next month we'll do this again.
Okay.
Alrighty. Guys, next we'll catch you then, and next time you'll probably see me will be for the Minnesota Wild organization breakdown because seasons might end. I think it's tomorrow night, down 3-2 against Dallas, but that'll.
I still think Minnesota pulls off the series.
If they do, I'm gonna be surprised because the officiating in that series has been god awful.
I mean, I have Minnesota going to the conference final. I can still see them pull off it.
And here's me having them winning the cup over New Jersey. So who knows what could happen? Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the first episode of the Cubs Deep Dive. Me and Nick will catch you guys here in about a month. Take care. We'll see you guys next time.